Welcome back, Not Sorry Babes. Thanks for joining us today. Today, we are driving. We're diving into, oh my God, I've only had like 3 sips of wine so far. It's Wine Down Friday. I know it's technically Wine Down Wednesday, but it's been a really, really tough week. So who effing cares? But as I was saying, we are diving into your questions and getting your besties' advice. Some of these questions we have today are actually kind of fun. We have 2 that are like, I need help with something, and a couple that are just like, yo, what do you think about this, dog? So cheers. Happy Friday. All right. If you haven't already, please rate and subscribe, follow, the whole drill. I'd appreciate it. Okay, let's go. Let's just fucking go. Okay. First one. Oops. Let's put that on mute. Okay. First one. When is sex expected in a new relationship, and how long should I wait? Great question. I am in my early 20s, and the guy I've been seeing is also in his early 20s, and we have hung out about 3 times. We call on the phone almost every night and have been, quote, talking for a month. We are not dating yet, and I have suspicions he's still talking to other girls, although he has posted me on social media. Okay. We are traveling not very far on a road trip Friday, so we are sharing a hotel room. Is sex expected? We have never done anything yet besides kissing, and I have very little experience because of my morals and values. I thought that's where this was going. Would he think of me differently if I did have sex with him? Is this early in the relationship or not? I want to, but don't want to destroy my reputation or how he thinks of me. Do I wait until he makes me his girlfriend? Yes, to answer it quickly. Yeah, I would wait until that point, because you could get into like a little bit of like a toxic thing where they're getting girlfriend benefits without the title. They don't need that. They don't deserve that. And definitely stick to your morals and values. I waited till marriage, as we all know. And I recommend it for like the theory of it. Like, your body is your temple. You don't want to like disrespect yourself by and I had a period of where I just didn't respect myself very much, and I was like giving it away. Like, nope, we're not going to put an analogy to that. But you know what I mean? Like, I still like believe in those values of like treating yourself with respect, and not everything or everyone should have the privilege of doing something so intimate with you. So I think also the conversation in your early 20s, so these kinds of conversations like feel so much scarier than they actually are. And when you ask that like kind of scary question, like, this is kind of what I believe in, this is like where I'm at with things, I want to, but also, however you want to word it, their response will tell you everything you need to know about him, if he respects you or not. And being a dude, let's just assume, yes, he will be expecting that. He will. Just assume that. So knowing that ahead of time, expecting that, what would you say if there were no scary consequences, or like if it went really well, like in your ideal world? How would this conversation go? And practice that with yourself. And you can't control what he's going to say or do, or how he's going to think of you. Know that. That's a lesson I wish I knew early on, is that you can't control other people's perception of you. Like, let's say you went through with it, and now all of a sudden he thinks like you're a total slut. No, you're not. You know your values, you know yourself, you value yourself and respect yourself, and you're not, okay? And you are protecting yourself in certain ways. And up until this point, I don't know what your history is, but you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what he thinks of you after. If he thinks of you after all that, you made a mistake, and that's okay. And you don't want to be with someone who thinks of you lesser than just because you did something with him that you wanted to do. So that's not the kind of person you want to be with. So if you make a mistake, you make a mistake. We've all been there. We've all done that. Okay, I need another sip. Hope you guys are having a good Friday, by the way. It's like super rainy here. I have a girlfriend coming over later, and I'm actually doing her nails. Like, I've never done someone else's nails. If you're watching on YouTube, like, these are like what I did the other day for a wedding. It's like a gold cat eye. I've gotten pretty good at doing my nails, and people are starting to ask, and I'm like, bro, keep your expectations low. But I'll do it because any excuse to hang out with a girlfriend. And we're ordering tacos too. Like, ugh. So excited. But yeah, you do you, girl, and what you are comfortable with. If you don't know that yet, sometimes it takes time to learn about yourself when you're kind of going into uncharted territory and you're like, I've never gotten to this point with a guy. What do I do? Figure it out. Expect to maybe make a mistake. And if you make a mistake, well, now you know. Now you've learned something about yourself that you want to wait longer or something else, right? Be okay with making mistakes, please. This next one, I feel very hard. And I'm going to repeat a story I've said before, but if anybody's new here, it's a great story. It's really cute. Okay, the title of this one, I'm a 32-year-old single woman, 33 at the end of the summer. Okay, whatever. I'm worried that I missed the boat, that men won't find me attractive, that I will never fall in love or find a lasting partner. Girl, you're in your early 30s. Walter, oh my God. He's just dripping. If you're on YouTube, these like floofs just fly off of him. We'll throw that away later. But there's more to this question. So my ex and I broke up 7 months ago. I hope it was the right choice. He easily and happily moved on and is in very happy new relationship while I'm still struggling to get over him. Been there. I also worry about attracting a new partner at this age. I get constant messaging that I'm aging and that men want younger women. This is especially salient because my ex was 38 and wouldn't date women over 34 because he really wanted kids. I mean, no, okay. There's a little bit more. So I feel undesirable and old. I worry that I missed the boat and that there are few, quote, good partners left. And those that are out there are going after younger women. I worry that I should have tried harder to make my last relationship work, even though that effort felt one-sided at the time. That answered your question. I'm sad and lonely and feel like I have totally messed up my life. Oh my gosh, honey. First of all, I have a friend who had a child in her late 30s. You're fine. Go to the doctor if that's something that you're worried about. Like, go to the fertility doctor, and like see where you're at with things. Get a clear picture on where you're at with things. If you meet a guy who's around your age, who's like, I want children, you'd be like, yo, I'm good down there. I'm good. I'm shooting straight down there. Like, so you don't have to worry. Like, you can take that off the table of like your worries. But your ex was a little bit misinformed, and I don't want to say misogynistic. I don't know the guy. He deserves a little bit of a fair shot. Say hi to Walter. He's right behind me. Because that's just, it's stupid. It's stupid of him to have said that. I am 34. I do not have children yet, and I'm pretty sure I will. Like I can, I mean. And if my body was like, yo, you missed the mark, that's my fault. And I would make peace with that, as devastating as that would be. Although, you know what? I should go to the fertility doctor and figure it out. I don't have insurance. It's so expensive. But you see what I mean? Like, you're fine. Oh boy, I could go on about this. If you're meeting the kind of men that are like only younger women, ew, red flag, gross. Okay, Katelynn, calm down. If you're going out on dates with men who are like, I need a woman in her early 30s or 20s because of fertility issues, girl, move on. Like, there's so many good men in the world, and don't make regrets. Like, you made the decision that you did to break up with your last guy. That's fine. The next girl is going to figure out that she probably made a mistake too. Like, And even if she didn't, right? There's somebody out there for everyone, and you guys weren't it. That's okay. Move on. Grieve. Move your grief. Go through it. That's okay. You know, I'm not telling you to like get the fuck over it, although that is kind of what I'm saying. Do what it takes to get over it and heal from it. And just know that you didn't make a mistake, okay? And you have not missed the boat. The story that I am going on with is my mother. Although she was done having children at this point, she got divorced in her 50s and hadn't worked she was a stay-at-home mom my entire life and didn't go back to work until I was well into high school. And that was just on a part-time basis. That she worked retail and then did, the substitute teaching. And when my parents got divorced, my mom she couldn't support herself. Are you joking? And Lord, I can't talk trash on my dad right now. She could not support herself. And so she prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. She's a very spiritual woman and kind of got hung up on one guy that she met at her church. And he was just kind of this introvert, the same types that I would go for. And he just kind of was skedaddling her around and ended up like, she realized like, oh, he's not into me. And she called me one day crying and crying and crying. I'm like, my mom in her 50s has never been through a heartbreak. I mean, my dad put her through the ringer, but where I'm going with this is that my dad was the only guy she had ever dated and been with. So when she gets this cute little heartbreak, it was just, my heart just sinks and just, I love my mom so much. Anyway, she met a guy on the dating app. Well, no, what was it? Match.com? It was one of the first online dating ones. The Christian. She's tried Christian Mingle. She found out so quick. There's so many pervs on there. The poor thing. She's so innocent. I think it was Match.com that she met Dave, her now husband. And he was well-to-do to provide for my mom in her golden years. And it's everything that she had prayed for and everything that she deserved. And she thought it was just gone. Like she would go through periods of like, I'm in my 50s. Like who's out there that is a good Christian man, can provide and do all these things and like will find me attractive and like have a good life with at the end of my life. And you know what I mean? The exact same things that you're going through, but she's in her 50s. You're in your 30s. You are fine. Have a little perspective and do a glow up, girl. Like do whatever it takes to, get your nails done, do your hair. Like just, it sounds vain, but do things that make you feel good about yourself. Work out consistently and, go through the grieving process. You have not missed the boat whatsoever. I gotta slap you upside the head because it's so untrue. Stop believing that. I know that's how you feel. Uh-oh, my leg's falling asleep. Jasmine's like on my lap. I'm sorry, baby. Ooh. Okay, there we go. I know that's how you feel. I'm not trying to invalidate your feelings because we've all been there. After a heartbreak and a breakup, those feelings are intense and it feels so real that this is our reality for the rest of our life. But we're all here to tell you that it's just simply not true. Okay, lean on your girlfriends, make new friends, just put yourself out there, not for other men, but to create more meaningful relationships with women, so that you have more of a supportive community. I don't know if you have that or not, but that's a great place to start before you start looking for some other man that's going to say, I need a 24-year-old and he's like in his late 30s. Like, ew. And this is coming from the girl who dated a 50-year-old. I don't think I've said that before. I did. And not for the reasons you think. Again, relationships are very different once you're inside of them. Nope, it was not rich at all. Anyway, so no, I think I have said that. Okay, we're going to move on. Ooh, perfect. We're going to move on to some really fun, just like random questions. And I want to hear your responses on social media, or if you're listening on YouTube, send a comment. I really want to know your guys' opinions on these. So here we go. First one. If you had a 1-minute phone call with yourself from 10 years ago today, what would you say? 10 years ago today, I was 24 and it's May. I was 1 month away from my divorce. 10 years. Fuck. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. I got divorced June 2014. And it was such a scary time because I had never been out on my own. I moved out of my parents' house because I got married. Like, I had never been on my own. No. And nonetheless supported myself. So I had been working at that time while I was going through the divorce. He supported me just a little bit after we started that process, but it ended real fast. Like, I don't blame him. But I did have free housing at the time because I was living in the house that we bought together. So that was like a real scary moment where I was like, I have to start like paying for my own apartment or something with a roommate. And it was just so scary. So what I would tell myself is what a friend told me at the time, which was, everything's going to work out. Everything will work out. It's going to be hard. It's going to be scary, but continue to work hard. Take care of yourself. And I promise you, in 7 years, you're going to meet the man of your dreams. You will. Stay the course, learn, grow, and find happiness in every corner of this world that you can, because you're about to hit the fucking lottery. That's what I would say to myself 10 years ago today. Oh, I want to give her a hug. What would you say to yourself? Let me know, seriously. It's always like fun to like look back on your life in like those kinds of periods of time, just to have some perspective, you know? All right, time for a sip. If you're drinking wine with me, hey-o. Let go. Okay, next. What do you think ages people quickly? Duh, stress. So that's why, like, what I would tell my younger self is to find happiness in every corner of this world as possible. Because when you see those older people that are in those like street interviews, and people are like, oh, you're out here, you're 100 years old and you're doing yoga. Like, what's your secret? And everyone gives a different answer. But the majority of answers that I remember from those things are like, just laugh, have a good time, find people that make you laugh, find people that make you happy, and find good things in this world. Because the more negative you see, the more stressed you're going to be, I think, you know? And it's important to find a partner that finds joy also pretty easily around you. And that's what I love about Mark so much. God bless that man. Okay. What is an oddly specific rule you follow in your life that nobody taught you, but you swear by it? I have a good one. I mean, obviously this did come from my upbringing. Like, it was influenced by the way that I was raised. I was going through something with work. What was it? I was talking to a coworker about something, like about, I think, one of our bosses. And she was like, Katelynn, shh, you're on speakerphone and I'm in the office. I'm like, I don't care. Like, and Mark had heard that comment. I was like, I don't care if what's coming out of my mouth is heard by the person we're talking about. And he just is so cognizant of everyone and everything and how they're feeling. Like, he's so much more emotion based than I am, and how other people will feel. And I don't think that way, naturally at least. And we were talking about it at dinner. He's like, bro, you were stressing me out so much that you didn't care that your boss heard what you were saying. I was like, okay, I know this, I thought maybe this would go without saying, but the way that I choose to live my life and the rule that I choose to live by is that everything that comes out of my mouth is to keep myself accountable. Everything that comes out of my mouth, I have better be okay with saying it to that person's face. So if I'm talking about somebody, quote, behind their back, that's my accountable way that, like, if I'm going to talk about somebody behind their back, I better be okay with saying it to their face. Maybe in a more strategic way, but I'd still get my point across. Are you kidding? Like, that's kind of the unwritten rule that I live by, is like, choose your words wisely and think before you speak. And you 100% can have your opinions and speak your opinions and voice your opinions, all that stuff. And still be able to do it in a graceful and tactful way without, being a complete asshole. That's what I've learned in my life, and that's what I choose to live by. And I highly encourage that for everyone. All right, 2 more questions. If you won the lottery, oh my God, do I think about this? If you won the lottery and never had to work anymore, what would you say when someone asked you what you do for a living? I 100% would keep it a secret that I won the lottery, but there'd be signs. But I would tell them this. I would tell them I'm a podcaster and I'm like ultra successful. You can't tell that I only have 16 subscribers on YouTube. No, you can't. Although that's not a foolproof one. But I would definitely use podcasting as my lie. But also it's a truth. So I'm not really lying, but I would pretend that I still had my full-time job for a little bit longer and just kind of lie like, oh, the podcast, that sounds so bad because I'm trying to manifest this podcast to be really successful. But like if I won the lottery tomorrow, for example, I would just be like, oh, the podcast is just blowing up. It's just going crazy and just gaining a lot of traction. Like I'm really excited. Maybe I can get a sponsor on or something. Like I can sadly be a really good liar, but I use my powers for good, not evil. Okay. Next, last question. What is something you bought as an adult because you weren't allowed to have it as a child? Oh my God, that's easy. My cats. We technically had a cat growing up, but he was only outdoor and it was like a very short period of time because he either got killed or someone adopted him because he was on the street, but his name is Autumn, a cute little ginger kitty. So the second I had the opportunity to get an animal, I got one, and it's Jasmine. She's sitting on my lap right now. I got her on Craigslist. She was my Craigslist kitty. She was a year old, and snuck her into the apartment that didn't allow pets at all. Did that for a minute, and when I got caught, and they're like, you got to throw her out. I worked at a storage unit facility, as the property manager. Kept her there for a few months. It's so bad. I went through hell and high water to keep this cat. And so she had to live in a storage facility, the office part, for the better part of 2 or 3 months before I moved again. She's been slept in the car with me. She's my ride or die. She really is my ride or die. Cheers, Jasmine. All right. That is wait, no. We got our buzzkill segment. I have a good one. I thought of it today. I'm so pissed. Buzzkill segment is the segment where I get to bitch about something and that's it. Something that just kills the vibe and needs to be addressed in a petty way. Okay. So earlier today I was scrolling TikTok, what else? And I came across this news clip of this couple that was being interviewed that they chose to be child-free. And the news bit was about how there are declining birth rates in the U.S. and why is that? And the majority answer is usually just because people don't want to have kids, regardless of the economy or their financial situation or whatever. It's really just because they don't want kids. And so they're interviewing this couple who just didn't have much of a reason other than they just didn't want to have kids. The lady had been a nanny growing up for 4 kids and realized I have to do this every day and was like, I don't want that. And fair enough. You figured it out, I guess. And you made a decision, an informed decision for yourself. Good for you. But they were interviewing this couple who are just the comments we get every time we tell someone that we're child-free. We get all these comments and it's exhausting. Why would you deprive you don't want a little mini me running around and blah, 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 blah. All these things that people would naturally ask, well, why are you making that decision? And I scrolled past it real quick because I was about to get upset. And it's are you joking? What do you expect people to say or to think? Because we've had hundreds of thousands of years of biology ingrained into our DNA to reproduce. So we're finally in a time in history, for the first time in history, where we don't have to reproduce just to survive or to keep the family name going or to keep us rich or whatever. And you're here complaining about other people asking you questions. Get over it. Like, get over it. What do you expect? Like, it's okay to be annoyed by it. That's not what I'm saying. Let people, you can't control what other people are going to do or say when you tell them that you're child free. Answer their dumbass questions. They might be rude. They might be overstepping. You just be like, bro, I just don't want kids. And that's that. And I'm grateful that I can make that decision. And like, there's no negative repercussions of it. Right. And I actually made a quick TikTok video of this exact subject. Some people are just like, how could you say that? You're part of the problem. Like, what? No. I don't care what people choose to do. Like, I rode the fence for a long time. I'm like, do I really want kids? And I finally came to the conclusion where I do want kids one day. Like, that is something I want. But I had the blessing, because of the time that we're in, to be able to have that choice. And this is not a political statement. Y'all calm down. We're not here to talk about politics ever. All right. This is a safe space. Politics free. Okay. So yeah, we have the deciding factor these days to not have kids or have kids. And when people are like, why would you do that? And you're upset and people are making you upset, get a hold of yourself and your emotions and get over it. Like, just move on. Don't let them control you and how you feel and all that stuff. Like, this is dumb. It's so stupid. Get over it. Whoa, that was intense. I apologize. You know what? No. This is what this whole podcast is about. I'm not sorry for that. This is me. This is my world and you're living in it. All right. That is the episode. If you want to write into the show, you can do the email below, which is the notsorrypodcast@gmail.com. Find me on the socials. I am on Instagram, but only because I feel like I have to. It's not too exciting over there, but it's a little bit better on TikTok, and then also YouTube if you want to see my gorgeous face, as well as these cats. They make an appearance. But happy Friday. Cheers to my besties. Love you. Bye.